What's up, folks? Welcome to another episode of Watching Paint Dry here on Another Letdown. My name is Zach from Another Letdown Media, and this is the show where we hang out long after we should have thought about going to bed and work through the ridiculous backlog of miniatures that we've accumulated that need painting. There's an old adage that says if a miniatures painter ever runs out of projects to paint, he or she will die, so we're just trying to stave off death for as long as we possibly can. And I don't do this alone. Joining me on the line, as always, our resident monkey handler, my perennial painting partner, it's Broody Gambit. Mike, how's it going?
It's going great. Glad to be back.
Yeah, we had to take a little bit of a break, both for our own sanity and for the fact that I couldn't use my office for the end of the school year, as I talked about last night, because my in-laws were visiting to help us out with childcare, as our regular childcare provider has had a baby of her own, which, congratulations, Charlotte. We're very excited for you. But we're back. We've finally managed to stay up late again. And, you know, of course, everything, as always, is up in the air. If my kids wake up for some reason, I might have to call it short, and we'll do our best not to do that. But this is kind of our Father's Day special for me, because my kids, well, my 4-year-old, kind of decided to play off of my love for bumblebees. It is a well-documented fact that bumblebees are indeed my favorite animal. And so she got me this awesome Bumblebee t-shirt. She has a matching one. My wife has one, and the 9-month-old also has one. So we all have matching Bumblebee t-shirts. And while I do not have Bumblebee from the Teen Titans to paint, I do have the Wasp. So I will be doing Wasp, and I will be doing my best to give her as close to her original costume as I can, even though this sculpt is very MCU coded. And Mike is working, I believe, on Tomb Raider stuff, which is super rad. Very excited about that. Looks like some dinos going on.
Yep.
All right. Well, let's get right into it. As with all the shows that we host here on the channel, we believe in civil rights for absolutely everyone and in being as inclusive as possible. So any comments or activity actively working against that goal are not welcome and will not be tolerated. Let's paint. There's the button. Yes. Hey, everything's working. Beautiful, sort of. Yeah. So the other thing that we were talking about kind of off air before we went live is we both have beef with Marvel right now. And I'll let you go first while I get some reference images up.
Well, I guess I've had beef with Marvel ever since AVX, but
well, okay, yeah.
The most current thing that has irked me is the Amazing Spider-Man 1000 issue coming out in September, I think.
Yep.
They just revealed the John Romita Jr. cover, and oh my god, if there was ever a visual version, like depiction of phoning it in, like he is such a high quality artist, and that is not high quality art.
No, it's kind of trash. And I saw it, and that was immediately the conversation that we had in some of my private comic book discussion channels too. Is like, what is Romita up to? Like, it is no secret on this show in particular, Mike and I love John Romita Jr. Like, we both have,
he's like royalty, in like comics world.
Oh, absolutely. He and his father. Blink, I'll get you your kombucha time. Cheers. It is the raspberry blackberry that I was drinking last night. It was so fantastic. But it doesn't even feel like his work. It genuinely just feels wrong. Okay, so we got blue.
But yeah,
gloves.
like the body proportions are just off, and I've actually seen some really good photoshops of some stuff. My personal favorite being Ethan Van Sciver like posted.
Oh, no.
It was like of the Hulk pushing Spider-Man, and he's on a swing, and so he's got the arms in the thing, and it's like holding the chains of the swing and stuff and everything.
Yep. And you know it's bad when Van Sciver starts taking jabs at it.
Yeah. I don't know. He takes jabs at lots of things.
He does, and a lot of it is unjustified. But you know, the dude has his share of issues too. More than his share, I would say. For a very lengthy period of time, I did have some Van Sciver artwork on my wall, and I decided to remove it. It's the only piece of artwork to date that I've removed. But I digress. The point we're trying to make here is, of course, that Ramita, what? Come on, man, do better.
So what's been getting your goat?
Well, so I was driving to the grocery store today, and I was listening to a podcast that I listen to with some regularity. It basically takes the MCU rumors and sort of applies comic book logic to it. So shout out the Cosmic Wonder. I don't know what his actual real name is, but I watch him on YouTube almost every day, and he does a really good job, like saying, okay, here's the current rumor, here's the comic book basis, and does it hold any weight based on that? Which is a really interesting take. Like, he's not just reporting on rumors, which I really like, because I don't particularly like rumor culture. I don't subscribe to it, but to think about like fan theories and stuff from the perspective of comic books is interesting to me. But he was down a rabbit hole today about a new rumor saying that Avengers Secret Wars might be split into 2 parts. And, he and his Discord are all like, oh, that's great, more stuff. And I'm like, is Spider-Man Brand New Day where I dive off the MCU? And I'm thinking it might be.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's well documented that the only stuff that I really truly care about is street level.
Yeah.
I do not, especially with regard to comics, I only read street level stuff. I've read Avengers in the past, I've read X-Men in the past, but it does not wow me the way the street level stuff does. I think it's because street level is human, relatable, and Spider-Man is that, or can be that. He hasn't been thus far in the MCU, at least not in the way that I would like him to be. Certainly, Homecoming was a very grounded story, but like he keeps getting rolled in with the Avengers, which I mean, it certainly happens from time to time with Spider-Man in the comics as well.
I mean, he was like a mainstay roster in the early 2000s. So...
Correct. Yeah, exactly. But he functions at his best when he's down on his luck.
Yeah.
And
I will say, sorry.
Go ahead.
I completely understand the Peter Parker on his own, down on his luck, and that seems where they're going with in Brand New Day after the end of No Way Home. And I'm intrigued and wanting to see where they go with this, because one of my complaints about the MCU Spider-Man is that he's not Spider-Man, he's Iron Lad.
Exactly. Exactly correct.
And I would like to see him on his own being Spider-Man.
And I don't mind him having a fabricator, building using a 3D printer and upgrading his own suit. That's fine. He's supposed to be a genius, but he shouldn't have Stark Tech in there. I want this to be Parker Tech. And not even Parker Tech from the comics. I know that's a thing, but so I'm very excited about Brand New Day. And part of that too is the Punisher, right? He's like Mr. Street Level at the end of the day, even more so than Daredevil. And to see him square off with Peter is going to be really interesting to me. But with regard to Doomsday, it just feels like break glass in case of emergency, break glass in case of Downey.
No, I think Downey's what's behind the glass.
Yeah, and that's kind of hence the joke.
I think the break glass in case of emergency still is the app description, and just inside of it is the go to Downey.
Yeah, and Evans.
Yeah,
and I'm so they're all oh hey, part 2 of Secret Wars, and I'm no, just stop. So there's a strong part of me that's just I know if I want to watch Doomsday.
Yeah.
Maybe I just stop at Spider-Man and enjoy the James Gunn Superman movies.
I'm on the fence about Supergirl coming out.
I'm really excited about it. Not nearly as excited as I am about the Odyssey. That's my number one movie for the summer. Without even breaking a sweat. It's not even close.
Yeah, my only issue, I guess I want to see Supergirl.
Mm-hmm.
I'm very worried with the previous trends that 3-4 months out, they're already just kind of laying the groundwork for men are going to hate this because misogyny as as a sort of excuse for why the movie doesn't do well.
I think it'll do fine.
Yeah, regardless of how it goes, though, generally when a movie they had no and test screenings haven't been doing well, that's kind of a fail-safe for them.
I don't love that. Yeah. You just don't understand kind of defense.
Kind of, yeah.
Yeah, I don't love
that. And several movies in the past 5 years have done that really bad. I guess since it wasn't preemptive, obviously, with Ghostbusters 2016, but that was bad. And then when people brought up legitimate complaints, even not even accounting, it's it's a full woman team or whatever like that. They complain about the CGI looks bad for the car, for the ghosts or things like that, and then it just
you just don't understand because you're a guy.
Yeah, exactly. Or the defense is pretty much you're a guy, therefore it doesn't matter what you think.
Yeah.
And then movies in the past 5 or so years have gotten to the point where they kind of preemptively do that.
Yeah, which is not pleasant.
Yeah,
either.
And I'm not saying there aren't guys they're assholes. There are assholes out there that will not like it because of that, but I don't think it's as prevalent as the media kind of wants you to think when they kind of go on these media tours for these types of movies.
Right.
I mean, they tried to do the same thing with Star Wars Acolyte 2 years ago or whenever that came out, and it's no, that was just a really bad show.
Yeah.
Really bad writing and stuff.
RPD says maybe I should just dive off the MCU here and go back to writing superhero stories with him. Bro, I'm not going back to that Handelabra stuff. I love Handelabra. I loved doing Tales from the Archive when I could, but good lord.
That has happened since we last streamed.
Wait, has it been that long?
It has been that long since
God.
Since the Greater Than Games announcements.
Yeah, so we're back, sort of. I have the only thing that I can say without getting myself in trouble is I have had a meeting.
Mm-hmm.
That's about all I can say. And it was more or less a meeting to just be like, hey, no. Good night, Blink. It was don't get excited.
Oh, yeah.
We're still working out some stuff.
They kind of got to get things back up and running and stuff.
Exactly.
So, yeah, it's not going to be hit the ground running. Obviously, there's going to be some lag time and some work involved. So
right. But, good of them to reach out. But, there's definitely some good stuff in play as well that I can't talk about yet.
Yeah.
And one of those things that I can talk about, of course, is the game that I'm working on with Adam and Valor, which, before we started streaming tonight, I was working on assets for.
Mm-hmm.
Up until now, every version of the game we've done, Adam has done all the asset work. And this time, he's made it sort of streamlined so that Jamali and I can contribute to some of that stuff, which has been really nice. And we're looking to have a playable demo at Gen Con.
That'll be fun.
Yeah.
I need to get more Stirling mud.
Oh, I love the Sterling mud. Or Sterling Battlemire is usually what I use, but
I'm starting to run out, and my last little bits are starting to dry up along the edges.
Yeah.
I need to do more work with like technicals.
Oh.
I guess that's the point. I guess when I'm doing like MCU or Shatterpoint and stuff like that, they come like their bases are like formatted bases and stuff like that. Don't really have a lot of these. Comics follow suit.
Yeah, and that's part of why I think
it,
Cosmic Wonder is so interesting. Like sticking to the idea that the comics are the source material and not the other way around.
Yeah. And it's not just Marvel. Like DC's done that since like Arrow and other stuff also.
Yeah. I was watching something. Actually, it might have been a Cosmic Wonder thing, where they were talking about like potential casting options for the X-Men going into, let's just say, MCU 2.0.
Yeah.
And right before, so I was kind of idly watching. I wasn't paying much attention. and because I was playing with my kids at the same time, sometimes I'll just throw on a podcast just for adult conversation in the background, because I found that it doesn't bother the kids.
Yeah.
To hear some random person talking about something they don't care about. And I was like, oh man, who was that kid, that guy? They aren't kids anymore. From Riverdale, who played Reggie. He would make an awesome Beast, and then like 10 seconds later, they were like, "Oh yeah, that guy from Riverdale would play Beast." I was like, "Oh, wait, seriously?"
Yeah, I have no idea who that is.
Well, I was just thinking about it because you mentioned the CW.
Ah.
Even referencing Tales from the Archives, I retired a bit because I don't think I can top the "but I thought you didn't do cauldron content" joke from one of the Batman streams. That one was a good joke. I was thinking about those Batman streams the other day. It was fun to go back through those games again. And then you and I played, Gotham Knight, kind of at the same, roughly the same time.
Yeah, we played him when it came out, but like not together.
Right, exactly. I think the game was fine.
I liked it a lot.
Yeah, it was enjoyable.
Like it was a serviceable enough game. I think there's just a lot of unfair comparison with the Arkham series.
Yeah,
I mean, they're pretty uniquely different.
Oh yeah, I think there was some creative oversight and missteps, but like, okay, fine. I'm not so rigidly attached to my comics that I can't forgive a slight change here or there, you know?
Yeah, I think they had a very interesting story to tell of like what happens after Bruce Wayne.
Yeah. And I think a lot of people were like, well, that's happened so many times in the comics, like, which storyline are you adapting here? You got the Batman R.I.P. line from Tony Daniel and Grant Morrison, which Tony Daniel's part I like. Battle for the Cowl and all that.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, I think they did it right. Like, Dick Grayson should be taking the cowl, especially with Damian in play. Because let's face it, Tim or Jason is not about to raise Damian in any kind of appropriate way whatsoever.
Yeah, like Damian really throws everything off. I think Tim obviously is the best for Batman, but not to have with Damian as Robin.
Right. RPD, Shamali and I have had some conversations about playing that together. That isn't a possibility when we go into the season of the superhero, but I'm also like packed full of content on that season too. Like, I've got Wolverine, Spider-Man Shattered Dimensions, TMNT Last Ronin, the Spawn Super Nintendo game, the John Wick game, 007 First Light. Like, I got a ton of content in that season.
Wait, there's a John Wick game?
There is a John Wick game coming out, yeah.
Huh.
And I am super there for it. I've not seen any of the... No, I've seen the first movie.
I've only seen the first movie.
And I watched it on an airplane, so I don't know if that counts.
I also watched it on an airplane. I was on a flight that was like exactly like 2 hours and like 10 minutes or whatever, and that was like the exact runtime of the movie.
Yeah.
I was like, this is perfect.
I gave it some serious consideration to watching part 2, coming home from Virginia a couple weeks ago, and I ended up watching 10 Things I Hate About You instead, which is a great movie, and I will hear no argument to the contrary. And Delta's kind of cool. Like they'll, so like I've got another Delta flight coming up in the fall, and I started watching Mulan, which is another great movie, and I will hear no arguments to the contrary. Eddie
The
Murphy
cartoon or the live action?
Come on, man. The cartoon.
You have to specify.
No, I don't.
That light is not.
There's a
up.
correct answer to that. No, yeah, the cartoon. Because I needed some Eddie Murphy in my life. You know, he and I are birthday buddies.
Nice.
Yeah, Alec Baldwin also, and Rachel Bloom. I got a bunch of, and Adam Scott. I got a bunch of good comedians. And I've got Amanda Bynes, but we don't talk about it. Oh, and I got Marlon Brando too. Anyway, so Delta will. So I paused Mulan, some percentage of the way through. When I go to Gen Con, if there's the movie kiosk things in the backs of the seats for that flight, I can resume that movie right where I left off.
That's nice.
Yeah. So that was part of my logic. It's like I can potentially, like, let's pick movies that I don't feel like I'm not gonna be upset if I interrupt for several months. And 10 Things I Hate About You is just a feel-good movie. After a wild time trying to get to Virginia, I was just looking to get home. I had to go visit Spider-Man for an overnight.
Mm-hmm.
And while I do love New York City when I intend to be there, not exactly that pleasant when I don't intend to be there. Although mad prop to Delta for hooking me up with a 3-star hotel.
I didn't know they still made 3-star hotels.
Well, it was like a Holiday Inn, but like they could have done a lot worse.
Yeah. No, kind of like they treated me when I went to Salt Lake City.
Yeah. Yes.
Because that was like the overhead bin dumped out luggage on me, and it's like, here's a meal voucher. Good luck, because you don't have a person operating any of the places, and so your $15 meal voucher is only going to pay for half of a cheeseburger.
Yeah.
And then you can't even use it because you can't input coupon codes because you're not an employee.
Right.
I was like, this is ridiculous. And some of that, a lot of that is also just Detroit in general, because obviously Delta doesn't have any say over how the Detroit airport runs their
right
food and stuff, but still.
Food and stuff. Where I get all my food and most of my stuff.
Did you see Spider-Man Noir?
Not yet. Oh my God, no,
so
I have
good.
not had a chance to yet.
It's great.
Yeah. So like I said, I'm doing my best to churn out content for Valor before Gen Con. So that is kind of my focus right now. Like Taskmaster's over for the series. So I'm kind of locked in.
Mm-hmm.
Like I was playing Echoes of Wisdom. I've kind of put that down, which I'm having a good time with that game. I really am.
That game is also good.
Yeah. I don't like the menu system. It kind of sucks. I'm only using 3 echoes really.
Yeah.
Outside of the ones that are specific to a puzzle. But beef aside, it's a fun isometric 2D Zelda experience. And it's unique. It gives me hope. Since Tears of the Fandom was garbage.
Yeah, never watched or never. I played a little bit of that. I got down to the surface, but that was like the extent of how much I played of that one.
Yeah, I was like, no. I watched Adam play Breath of the Wild, and I was like, check, please. Not playing that.
I enjoyed Breath of the Wild, but
well, it's
yeah,
not a
Tears of the
Zelda
Kingdom
game.
was
Like
a lot.
it's just they're not Zelda games. They don't feel right to me.
I understand that. But it's kind of like the same deal with like Mario Odyssey and stuff.
Mm-hmm. Sure.
It's like it's just a different formulation.
Yeah, on some level, yes, I agree with you. On another, I'm like, just keep my Zelda alone, please. Get off my lawn.
Yeah, like
I'm
all
talking
the
about
Harley
motorcycles.
bikers. Yeah, yeah. Oh, you're talking about motorcycles also?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. Then it's loud.
Yeah. And all the houses around us are Airbnbs.
Nice.
So it's just motorcycles everywhere. And Kara and I are both running around with our hands over our ears. It's so annoying. And of course, it's New Hampshire, too. So nobody's wearing a helmet.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, come on. How many people, like, my wife works at the hospital, right?
Mm-hmm.
Not 25 minutes into her shift, the first day of bike week, there was already a medevac copter called.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, you've got to be joking. This is Wear a helmet, folks. Wear a helmet. It's not that hard, and it looks cool. Look at me just being old man. Yesterday I was talking about getting tested for prostate cancer because Jeremy Clarkson. Today I'm complaining about motorcyclists. So I'm actually kind of excited about the way I'm painting this. I'm base coating this exactly the way that her costume goes in the comics. And then I'm going to use like the sort of MCU costume, like piping and stuff to make her old costume look futuristic or look modern.
Okay.
I'm pretty excited about it. Maybe I'm being dumb, but I'm excited. Oh, you know what? I can do her knee pads black. That'll work. So school year's over, finally.
I'd hope so now that June's almost over.
Yeah. It ended on Monday.
Wow.
Yep.
That's a really long school year.
Very normal for the Northeast and like mid-Pacific coastline. Odd pairing, but I was talking.
Yeah,
to
we're
teachers
usually. Oh shoot, we're usually done by Memorial Day.
Yeah, nobody up here is anywhere close to that. But I flew down to Virginia for Tegan's graduation, 2 weekends ago? Was it 2 weekends ago? Yeah, it was.
Something like that. I remember seeing the photos of it.
Yeah. That was so much fun. Like, being there was so nice. Even StarCraft 2 games last. Long before Medivacs into the picture. Yeah. Yeah, I've heard good positive things about the Amazing Digital Circus movie. It's one more of those things that I can't indulge because a bunch of my students really like it, and it just like it strays a little bit too close for me. It's one thing to like for all of us to get excited about something super mainstream like a comic book movie, but when it's their media, I just feel really creepy indulging that. So,
sorry, what is this?
The Amazing Digital Circus. It's my students really like it. I don't know what it is. I know nothing. And RPD's talking about it. You can explain it now, Birdie. I don't care. I don't mind knowing things about it. I'm not going to go see the movie because then my students will just talk my ear off about it and we won't get anything done.
So I got to play the Film Fatale scenario in Arkham Horror today.
Oh, nice. How'd it go?
It was so awesome. It was such a fun scenario.
Good. I'm glad. I think Alex and I are going to try and play it soon. If I can.
Yeah, it was like my first time getting a chance to play it. We were just finishing up. We had done our sort of side story campaign.
Oh, sure.
And that being the last one. Go.
You know, you'd think I'd get to see Alex more because I'm at the video game store that's like right next to his house with quite a lot of regularity, like to the point where I'm considered a regular there. But I never see Alex.
That's sad.
Well, we always go over it like, you know, we leave when school gets out at 3 or whatever, and then we're there at like an hour and a half away, so it's like 4:30 by the time we get there, almost 5, which it gives us about half an hour before we have to turn around and get back on the road.
Yeah,
and that sucks. All right.
Did you see the new Marvel Champions is coming out soon?
Yes, I did. Like, I might actually buy this one. I mean, come on.
The setup looks really good.
Yeah.
I'm excited about it. The way they've structured the campaign, where it's like instead of a villain with their schemes and stuff, it's a series of 5 schemes and like 6 villains, and you can, well, Kingpin at the end has like the specific one, but then the other ones you can mix and match. So you can have the car chase, but then use Electro, and then the next time you run through, you can instead use like Bullseye or something like that. And so you can hit the different characters in different orders, or the scenarios in different orders, and
Yep,
it's really interesting.
Very cool.
Much better than the Civil War stuff that they just released as the last run.
Like, I did
that
not
one
pay
was not good.
any attention to it. As soon as I see Civil War, I chatted with Mark Millar about that when he visited Jetpack Comics, and he was like, it was not supposed to be what Marvel made it.
Really?
Yeah, he pretty clearly told us. Again, this is dodgy memory. It's been quite a long time, but I distinctly recall. Okay, I'm going to preface this very carefully because I don't want to misquote him. We had all been consuming Guinness.
Yeah.
It was like 2 a.m. We had been at it since like 3 p.m. And so, and I was, and this was a long time ago too. So like, I could be getting this wrong, but if I recall correctly, through all that, he said something to the effect of that it was supposed to be like an Elseworlds thing. That was like, it was I think it was supposed to be 6 issues not long, not 12. And Marvel just liked it so much that they were like, we're gonna stop everything, and this is gonna be our line for the Gear Plus.
Yeah.
And he was like, but what if you didn't? And they didn't listen.
Yeah. Your voice just cut out on me, Zach.
Wait, really?
Oh, now it's back. Okay.
No, just because I wasn't talking.
Okay. Sorry, it looked like you were still like saying something on Twitch. But,
no. Well, you got the delay on Twitch, so.
I do have a delay. Yeah. The mouth didn't sync up with what I heard you last say. So.
Sure. I'm trying a new way of listening to music. I'm hoping it doesn't get us copyright slammed, but I just found video game music, like specifically Chrono Trigger tonight, because I know we've used it in the past, on Apple Music. I'm hoping that it doesn't get us copyright struck, because that would suck. But I've played Chrono Trigger on camera, and it hasn't gotten me struck yet, so... Oh, I love turning a miniature a different direction and finding 2 different colors that I've botched.
Nice.
So, my daughter got her first taste of Star Wars today.
Nice. What happened?
My VHS broke. My VCR broke.
Aw.
No, we were watching Wallace and Gromit, and I couldn't get the wrong trousers to play. Something's wrong with my tape, and so I was like, okay, I got to try a different tape. Star Wars. Forgetting, of course, that the last VCR that I put that in ate the tape. I had to surgically rescue it. But the good news is that tape lives, and I've reset to 0 point, and we're good to go.
That's good.
Yes, very. And it should never have to go back in the drive ever again, because I have the definitely not bootlegged Blu-ray of the Star Wars that we're used to now.
Mm-hmm.
But it's good
I
to know
used
that
to have those on DVD, and I wish they would have updated those, but
they did.
Yeah.
Got you. RPD. Sorry. But yeah, actually, it's. Oh no, it's not. There's games right there. So, RPD for you. A game has been added to my collection. And actually, it's not really for you because I've had this conversation with you already. A game has been added to my collection that. This game and I have a fraught history together. But I finally got a physical copy of Jay and Silent Bob Mall Brawl. Which is kind of wild. By physical copy, I mean for the NES. Because apparently that exists. Do you remember when I played that, Mike?
Mm-mm.
It was, well, there was a lot of shopping cart nonsense. It was basically Battletoads, but I didn't expect it.
Mm-hmm.
Incredibly frustrated. I think RPD was that my biggest crash out to date on stream? It's like I don't crash out that often. I really don't. I'll like drop the controller in frustration, but I won't throw it across the room or anything like that. Yeah, it's got to be out there. Well, whoever sculpted this Wasp mask is definitely a 40K fan. Oh, and speaking of the game store and retro games and Zelda, the game store got a copy of Phantom Hourglass in today.
That's cool.
Which I immediately was like, yep, hold that for me. I really enjoyed that. Yeah, that's another one that like I think is way better than most people can give credit for. And my students, my 8th graders specifically, discovered the game that was made at my college, Bonesaw, and they tried so hard to beat that game before the end of the school year, and they did not make it. I feel really bad. The problem is it's so indie that, I mean, it is literally labeled as freeware. Like, it's not game free on this platform. No, it is freeware. And it is so, it's so well done. Like, Kyle Pulver is an absolute genius. And it is, to the best of our knowledge, 30 odd levels, punishingly difficult, like way beyond Souls-like difficult for a platformer. And I mean, we were, all of us, working every chance we had. We were playing Bonesaw, and just absolutely outstanding game. All right, now do the little one. This one interesting. All right, once more onto the breach. Or should I ink this first? This could backfire on me horribly, but I'm just gonna hit this with melon oil and see what it does. Or we'll try it. See what happens. Okay,
Now, I will say, the game, the Tomb Raider board game that I just got like 2 weeks ago or whatever, it's really well designed. It's a lot of fun. The minis, though, like, are not the highest of quality, which they knew that going in.
Yeah.
They were trying to make it very cheap and affordable.
Budget friendly. Got it.
Yeah.
That's why with Valor, we're just like, you know what? There are so many ways to get Marvel Comics minis. We don't need to do that. Like, what we need to make is the best possible Marvel game.
Yeah.
And, you know, we'll fill the box with standees. It'll be fine. But if you have the minis, it'll be scaled appropriately so you can use them. Adam just did the first pass on the location tiles yesterday, and they look gorgeous. They're so good.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I'm really happy with it. Okay, that worked actually about as well as I hoped it would. Okay, I forgot how much melon oil was just cheating. Alright, mini Wasp. And I'm going to try a little trick to make her wings glow. Whoa, okay. But yeah, I decided to do tricky and slightly sensitive subject matter, and then also decided the twist would be flipping the script on who's hero and who's villain in this nemesis pair. As you can imagine, not something you debut talking about. Yeah, that's true. Yeah. So how are you feeling about the new Tomb Raider game?
Shadows of Atlantis.
That's the one.
I'm excited about it. I mean, it's a remake of the first one, another remake of the first one.
Right, yeah.
But they're kind of just trying to narratively tie in the Survivor franchise with the old one. So they're kind of like, this is the Survivor one now that she's had some experience under her belt and is now re-experiencing the classic stuff.
Yeah.
Like, I'm fine for it, and like, I'll get it when it comes out in February. I'm excited about it, though.
Nice. I am trying. That's number one on my Sega Saturn list right now is the original Tomb Raider. Partially because it's affordable.
Mm-hmm.
It's only like $35 CIB, and most of the Saturn games that I want, X8 or X4 rather, is like 300 plus. I don't have that kind of money.
Yeah.
For a game that I can play on my Switch. But yeah, Tomb Raider. I haven't played Tomb Raider since the original on PlayStation. I remember very fondly afternoons, my buddy Bruce and I working very hard to beat that game. I don't know if we ever did. I can't remember. We always ended up playing a lot of Twisted Metal also. And we had the demo of Ape Escape, which was like a timed demo. We used to see if we could collect all, like beat the first level before the time run out.
Mm-hmm.
That's another one I want to revisit. I haven't played Ape Escape in a very long time. Adam's brother Paul tried to get me to. It was on PS Plus briefly, and I was like, dude, I'm not paying for. First of all, if I get another sub service, I was literally telling Adam this yesterday. If I subscribe to anything else, like a monthly service, my wife will like chop off my head. Sweet, I got the nice from Adam on my work this afternoon. That makes me feel like I did it right. Who the hell sculpted this thing? This is dumb. I also love how I'm doing Wasp before Ant-Man. I've had Ant-Man literally since the AMG Mini first came out, and I just have not been able to bother myself to do it.
You could just tell yourself you were following Joss Whedon's original Avengers MCU plan.
You mean Edgar Wright?
No. Originally, Joss Whedon's first plan for Avengers was to POV it with Wasp as like your main character, kind of point of view character, because he kind of has that thing about it's kind of like why Astonishing X-Men was like your primary protagonist in Astonishing X-Men. For him was Shadowcat, and obviously like with Buffy and stuff, yes. Like it's kind of his sort of
his attempt to be feminist, and that backfired on him colossally.
Yeah, yeah. But the original script he gave for Avengers was supposed to be like a POV with the Wasp and like not have Ant-Man or anything yet.
Weird, but very very Joss Whedon.
Yeah.
That actually explains a lot of the Black Widow stuff now.
Yeah. But then yeah, Marvel was like, no, you can't use a Wasp. She didn't have she wasn't established prior to the movie or whatnot, so
yeah. No, I like genuinely I like Wasp and Giant Man better than Ant.
Mm-hmm. So you like the Ultimates?
Well, no, but yes.
Yeah, sorry. I've beat this horse to death so many times, but it's like I still have a sore spot for Ant-Man because like I like the character a lot, but obviously like there's like the issue of him beating Wasp at one point in time,
Yeah.
which I get pissed off because like that was completely taken out of the writer's context by the artist and stuff.
Yeah.
And then it became like the defining trait of the character.
Yeah.
It's like there's so much other things you could focus on, but like that's the one that sticks, and they always bring it up in every iteration of Ant-Man.
Yeah.
To the point where I like, and then when they had like the way they could get out of it with Secret Invasion,
and they didn't.
I'm like, oh, come on.
Yeah. Yep. No, I think yet one more case of just egregious mishandling. I am not by many metrics an Ant-Man fan, and it's really just, again, I prefer street level stuff, but there's a lot of quite heinous stuff that happens on the street level. I mean, maybe more so like, think about Kilgrave. He's one of my favorite villains, but he's deplorable.
Mm-hmm.
And like from his first appearance, he was that way. I was rereading Daredevil recently because I decided to do that as Valor-related stuff. I was like, oh, I should probably reread Daredevil from the beginning so I can write that character a little bit better. But like the very first thing that Kilgrave does is just be like, Karen Page, yes, I'll have some of that. Mind control. Neither Matt nor Foggy can have her.
Mm-hmm.
It was really disgusting.
Yeah.
The Engage version. Yeah. Difference is, RPD, that I actually can play the Saturn version. And I can't play the PlayStation version.
Not with that attitude.
Well. I'm not buying a PlayStation 1. If I buy another PlayStation console, it'll be a backwards compatible PS3.
I still got mine.
Yeah, see, I don't. I never did. My first PlayStation was my PS5.
Wow.
I was never a Sony guy. It's just never interested.
Understandable.
I like for quite a long time I didn't have anything. I just had my PC.
Yeah.
And my first like Nintendo console that I owned, I bought new, was my 3DS. Once I started to understand my parents' logic behind not letting me buy video game systems when I was a kid, because I was just at my friends' houses all the time anyway, and I could play them there, and then they could save that money and you know, we could go on trips and things like that. Then I was just like, oh, well, what's the cheapest like barrier to entry? It's the PC. Like, you build the PC and then the games are just, you know, they are what you want them to be. You could pay a lot, or, and I still subscribe to this, you know, philosophy, I could pay a little bit and enjoy the games, enjoy weird indie games.
Yeah.
That still bring me more joy than most AAA titles. Okay. All right, well, that's Big Wasp and Little Wasp base coated. Oh, I guess I should throw some melon oil down on Little Wasp here. Did you pick up your physical of orbitals?
I did not.
I did.
I was, yeah, like
after the Nintendo Direct, I was like, there's not really all that much I care about. You know, like,
yeah, for me it was like the physicals, like copies, it's like they don't really do anything because it's still a digital game. You're just getting a key to unlock it.
No, Orbitals is full on cartridge.
Is it really?
Yes.
That is very different.
Yeah, most first-party published Nintendo games are full on cartridge. The only one so far that's not is Pokopia.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not interested in that anyway. I don't need cozy games in my life. I like a challenge. My students were like, how do you... one student in particular was like, do you never... Like, do you never... Like, if you're sick in bed, are you seriously playing Dark Souls? I'm like, yes. Yes, I am. Like, that, absolutely. And she's like, what? Really? She could not get her head around the fact that I like cozy games. I just don't care.
Mm-hmm.
And let's be real here. I'm not playing Dark Souls. I'm playing Elden Ring. But, like, you know, or, you know, Hollow Knight or something like that. Bonesaw.
Yeah, for Christmas this past year, my best friend got me a both remastered Tomb Raider series for the Switch. So it's like the 6 games.
Yep.
And those are fun.
Yep. I have given consideration to it. I like I said, I mean, the only one I've played is the first one. No, I've played the third one too. I've played Tomb Raider 3. For, you know, the reasons that every high school boy played it. Because Bruce thought that was something else, and I was like, well, I'm the one with the Prima guides. Because that was the thing. I was allowed to buy like the Prima guides and the Brady Games guides and stuff like that because my mom was like, oh, he's reading. which I mean, I was always reading, so that shouldn't have been a surprise. But like I was always the guy with the information. Like I had the hookup. I was the hookup.
Yeah.
That is not the color I thought it was, but I'm gonna run with it.
So yeah, the Tomb Raider board game is, like I said, pretty well designed. It's a solo player game.
Oh, weird.
Yeah, so it's a board game that is entirely single player.
Which, I mean, okay, sure.
So you have your map tiles that do things, and you have like a campaign book. So it'll tell you how to make your like lay out your map tiles and do all that stuff. You have like an event deck, and then you have like your enemies, and the enemies have kind of just a set way that they behave. So you can be stealthy, obviously, and when you're stealthy, the enemies just move a certain number of spaces in the direction they're facing. And if they get to a spot where they can't move, like if they come to a wall or something, they just rotate 90 degrees clockwise and keep going. So they tend to like an old school video game, kind of like walk in a pattern that you can kind of plan for.
Yeah. That's cool.
They have a line of sight, obviously, that if you go in front of, they see you, and then if they see you, all of the enemies know to go for you, and so then their movement is just go towards Laura. And so you have to like avoid that, but they have it's like just a flat rule, from a miniature, like if you're looking at, I guess, at the grid here.
Yep.
Like on mine, like the two adjacent, so they have like a 3x6 grid. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That's the line of sight.
Okay, sure.
And if you ever enter any of that, like, you get seen, and that's that. But they have a hard, fast rule that like if a blocking piece of terrain is in the way, just everything past that line is blocked. So you don't have to worry about like these finesse of like line of sights and angles and other stuff. It's just like a flat rule that just makes it consistent and fast.
Nice. I like
because I know that in like some of those sort of tactics games, like that tends to be like a holdup that is very common.
Yeah,
is line of sight.
One of those things that like Jamali is. He plays a lot more of those tacticsy stuff than I do. So he's been kind of our like de facto expert on that sort of thing.
But yeah, so you have like your stealth, like you start as hidden, and so the enemies just normally walk. You can make noise, particularly like if you fire your gun, and so there's like a noise token that you would lay down. So it's like you shot, you put the token in your space, and if you move, like the enemies will like go to the noise they heard.
Yeah.
And so you can use that to kind of manipulate where enemies go to free up spots, and like, so there's a decent amount of strategy and stuff involved. And yeah, it's pretty well designed. The campaign has like 15 chapters in it. But they also have a sort of island campaign mode where the 4 different biomes, like jungle, tomb, desert, and mountain, there's like a deck of cards that are like just different layouts. And so if you're doing the island campaign, it's like, here's an island, you start on this spot, and then you have to like randomly go, and then it's like, oh, I moved into a jungle location, pull out a jungle card, and then it pulls out the like sort of scenario out of that, and then it's like you're trying to find the relics and all the other stuff and get out of there.
Nice.
But then like I said, the campaign book is its own thing that's like a preset thing.
Yeah. I wanted to quickly explain what I just did here.
Yeah, go for it.
So clear bits, right? Notoriously hard to paint and have them still look good. That's where contrast paints come up clutch.
Yeah.
So I just hit their wings with the Citadel contrast red. That's I don't even know what the name of it is because I used Citadel. So Bale red, and so that still maintains the translucent nature of the wings while giving them the red that they get in the comics. So.
Yeah, I was about to say when I did those, I did a wash in it, like a blue wash, so it like is a little bit more translucent.
Yeah.
Like the Dragonoff Nightshade or whatnot.
Yeah. I thought about it, but I wanted the contrast. I used the contrast paints on a Cthulhu mini that I did a long time ago, and it was a lot of fun. It's a little technique that I picked up. Now I need to decide how to do their eyes.
Yeah. So anyway, as you play through the game, like Laura has her health and stuff, and enemies can attack her. You do your actions with 6 different action die. And so it's like if you want to move, it's like, okay, I'm going to spend 3 die, and so I can move X amount based on what I roll. I have to roll like successes on the die essentially.
Right.
And depending on how many die you spend, it limits your actions. But if your health ever gets knocked down, how they handle that is this really fun. You reset your health, but then you remove one of your 6 action die.
Oh, cool.
And so it's like you don't get a game over. You go to your previous checkpoint. You just have fewer die to keep going now. Like the game over happens when you lose all 6 of your health die or your action die.
That's neat. I like that. You know what? No. That's not going to look right. Is it? Hold on, we'll try it. I believe I can take black first and like color shift. This is going to be really weird. I'm doing her eyes, but they're in her helmet, so color shift paint. All right. Maybe this worked. Yeah, maybe it did. Cool. Okay, that's fine. I need my good brushes, which are literally right in front of me. They're going to bite me if they were any closer. Sure. Let's go. Not perfect, but it'll do. Oh, that's why it looks weird. Actually pay attention to your reference images, folks. Much better. And we'll correct the bottom. God, these Games and Gears, like, super detail brushes are wonderful. Awesome. Definitely not going to try and do that on the little one. I added the W. It's hard to see.
Uh-huh.
Actually came out really good. Really? Okay. This seems like a mistake, but I'm going to try it. Fortunately, it's not a mistake that will show up on the Mini, because I'm just mixing colors. And we will see if it works. I doubt it. So I told you that I got tickets to see Coheed and Cambria the day before my daughter's birthday.
Mm-mm.
Yep. I'm going to see Coheed, and then I'm going to go home. Might even get some dinner on the way home, because Coheed is the opening band.
Oh, wow.
And I'm like, oh, let's go. I get to be old millennial and just go to bed at a reasonable hour. This seems like gas. They played in Worcester a couple weeks ago, and a friend of mine went, and I was like, yeah, but, you know, you're staying overnight somewhere else. Like, that seems terrible. And as much as I love Coheed and want to see, you know, a longer set, there's something, like, exciting about getting to bed on time.
Mm-hmm.
I am just old man, I guess. Yeah, they're opening. Like, Coheed is touring with Shinedown. I was like, what?
That's an odd one.
That's such an odd pairing. No disrespect to Shinedown. I mean, it's the second concert I ever saw when I was a kid, but I feel like Coheed's just like selling themselves short.
I wonder with the like decline of people going to like live shows as much recently, people have started sort of doing just slightly odd pairing. It's like they're close in the Venn diagram, but not quite there to try and get both groups of people together to justify a sort of tour or a live show.
I get me. Yeah, maybe. I hadn't thought of that.
So it's like when you think about it, it's like, oh man, that sounds odd, but it's like it's close enough where people of either like fans of either band would go and just not care as much about the other, but not be put away by it.
Yeah, that's that's fair. I'm still gonna be old man and just.
Oh no, I understand. Yeah, like if you need to, but it did get you to pay for a ticket, and you did show up to see something. So
Yeah.
like it kind of did its job at that point in time.
But I'm also the guy who's gonna pay to see Coheed no matter where they are or who they're with.
Mm-hmm.
And I guess it does. Their previous tour with Primus does prove the point too. Both prog bands for sure, but like, I would not at the time have gone out of my way to see Primus. And Greg and I were like, "Oh, it's Primus. They're kind of legendary. We'll stay for a couple songs and then we'll see what's up." And we ended up staying for the whole thing because they were phenomenal.
Because I remember a show I went. It was Motley Crue.
Oh yeah.
It was their farewell tour, and Alice Cooper was
the
opening for them.
I went on that tour
and
too.
it's like, yeah, it's like
Twice.
Alice Cooper is like, I don't know, like he's a bigger mainstay. He's been around longer. He may not be quite bigger, as it were, but and it's not like I don't like Motley Crue. I do enjoy their music, but I was like, well, I'm not averse to seeing them. So, and I'd like to see Alice Cooper. So let's go.
Yeah, I Alice Cooper was definitely like a kicker for me on that tour, because at the time huge Motley Crue fan, less so now that they're not the original lineup. But
Where? I always lose my matte white paint. There it is.
that's one reason that I love these 3D printed racks. Although you've just reminded me that I need to do my Gen Con list. So fill this up. I got 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16 slots to fill.
Foul Walk, your message was deleted.
Oh yeah, a couple people have had messages deleted. Sucks to be you, I guess. Stop scamming. I'm highlighting this a bit more aggressively than I usually do.
Mm-hmm.
Just to see what happens. I can always backtrack. I actually don't hate this.
Seeing that fully painted now, I remember that old costume now.
Yeah. I like this a lot better than the MCU one. I'm glad I chose to do it this way. Application of this pink.
That was a bit much.
Yeah, I think I went a little too overboard here too. I'll do. There's some piping down and the blue. Do I just leave that alone? Try something here.
So do you have any big plans for the summer?
A few. So I'm teaching summer school. Well, I'm keeping the library open for summer school. Let's be honest here. They're paying me to keep the library open. Then I head to Gen Con, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
And then from there, I come home for like a day. And then it's off to North Carolina, Outer Banks, for a week.
Mm-hmm.
And then we have to check out on the Saturday, so we're heading up to Virginia from there. So a lot of family time.
That's good.
Yeah. And I'm going to try and bring the remote streaming rig with me. Try and get Tegan to put her money where her mouth is in Killer Instinct.
Mm-hmm.
And her sister is like a full-time live streamer right now, so
Okay.
I know they have the infrastructure to do it. And there's a good possibility that you will see Serenity on Zach and Friends at some point. Whether that's with, in a more than 2-player co-op situation with you and me, or just something else by ourselves, remains to be seen, but that is the plan.
That's cool.
Yeah, it'll be fun. She streams mostly on TikTok. She plays Fortnite.
Mm-hmm.
But I dare say we can break her of these bad habits. How long has it been since we last added an on-camera character? Greg. Well, Greg. I mean, Greg's hands, I guess.
An on-screen character? What?
RPD is talking about the kayfabe of the Another Letdown verse. It's less. I'll put it this way, RPD. Not as long as you think.
Shoot.
Not as long as you think. Adding another character to our roster of people who appear at the shows is what he means.
Yeah.
It has not been as long as you think.
Nope. Get back on. The problem with the mini as big as this T-Rex is when you're trying to wash with different colors and then your washes hit. I like this, this sepia on the underbelly that I had kind of gone a really light tan color on.
Yep.
But then obviously the green on the upper bodies and stuff.
Yeah. It's been 84 years.
Oh, some of that mud was not quite dry yet.
Oh no.
It's not
It's
a
not the end
huge
of the
deal.
world. Yeah, I've done that many times. Wait.
There it is.
Where is your what?
My grass.
Where is your grass tonight? I hope it isn't missing altogether.
Nope. I found it.
It was right there the whole time. I lost. Way too late for me to be making Fall Out Boy parodies. You know, I say this all the time, but the power of a good-looking base, even if it is just one solid color, really just allows a mini to sing. Like, I don't know if I was thrilled with the way the piping came out on her uniform, but I actually think it looks really, maybe better than I thought. I want to touch up a couple pieces, though.
Raptors get grass.
Yes, they do. Absolutely.
Like the Raptors are supposed to be like the. Obviously, they're in Peru in the game, and like so, it's like the sort of jungle-esque type thing.
Yeah.
So I did the mud, and then I'm slapping on some grass to cover the muddy area.
Yeah.
Not 100%, but enough. And the T-Rex will get the same thing.
Yeah.
However, the Dilophosaurus are supposed to be in the mountains, so I just did a gray base over the rocks, and then threw a bunch of the blizzard stuff on it.
Oh, sure.
The Bahalon blizzard, so it's like snow all over the ground. Out of there, wash and highlights and stuff are done. I think the 4 little dinosaurs are done. The T-Rex has his wash still drying. But looks really good. I'm very pleased with them.
I think I'm pretty happy with Wasp. Not the best mini I've ever done. I might revisit her later. I don't know. Maybe I'm unhappy with it.
Wish I could get better lighting.
I don't know.
Rawr.
The shadows are right, but I just can't get the highlights to land where I want.
One other thing I do have to say about the Tomb Raider game, I am very pleased that they thought about the product they were selling and what they were planning to sell, and so the storage came with actual space to fit everything.
Oh, hey, look at that.
Including all of the extra stuff if you buy it.
Nice.
And it came with actually, and I've already painted these, there's like 2 versions of Lara. So they have your old school, like based off of the Tomb Raider 1 design.
Okay.
But then they also came with the version that's like the unified, like the new one in the game.
Oh, cool.
And it doesn't really matter which figure you use, but they give you the option.
Yeah.
So the other neat thing is they also give you a boulder.
Taking a leaf out of the Lego playbook.
Yeah.
Big ugly rock pieces.
I was going to say the big negative I would say is that the cards are odd sizes.
Oh no.
So finding sleeves was tricky.
Yeah.
The standard ones are like bridge sized, so those weren't too bad. The large boss cards are a little weird. I had to get like a bit big, and then I just used my like precision cutter to just trim about 1 centimeter off the top, so it wasn't like a bunch of excess like empty space.
Yeah.
And it even comes with a Winston Mini.
Nice.
One of the scenarios you can lock him in the freezer.
Nice.
I don't know why I'm putting these away. I need to get a picture to post them.
How do you feel? What do you think about this?
Does
that look okay?
It looks great.
Okay.
That logo actually comes out really nice.
Yes. All right, I've got a little bit more to go, and I got a few more minutes. So let's see if I can crush through that last moment of this. Oh, I wanted to do rusted metal. I got a little bit finishing touch to do next week. Because I got to find that article that taught us how to do rusted metal. I don't remember how. It's been that long. It's been 84 years, as RPD points out in the chat. I know that was in reference to something else, but I'm using it here.
I have you can get an effect. That's upside down.
Yeah, I do have stuff that I could do that as well, but
it was mostly a bunch of stippling.
Yes.
Of like brown and red.
Yeah, I remember vaguely.
That seems like a bit much. There we go.
And there was like various ink washes and stuff too. But it's a technique that I'd like to go back and revisit, so seems worthwhile to do that next time. Especially since I'm working on... I'll be returning to Lizard Folk next time too, and there's a lot of... There'll be a fair amount of waiting around on that one, I think.
I was gonna edge highlight, but I think the T-Rex will just do really good just with dry brushing.
Yeah, that's kind of what I ended up doing with Wasp here. I'm just thinking, where's the light coming from? And just letting the sculpt speak for itself through the paint job.
Mm-hmm.
Realizing that the contouring, the piping and stuff isn't actually as prevalent as I thought it was. And at some point I had it way too pink, and at some point I had it way too red, and I was like, you know what? Let's just slow down here.
I was about to say, did you see my the Han Solo I did recently?
Yes, that was awesome.
Okay. I had it's still just kind of sitting here, but
Yeah, I mean, throw it up on camera because.
yeah, I did. I
People
had it up
have
for
it.
a second. Yeah.
Yeah, sick. I love when you can let ink kind of flow through the like the elbows and stuff on sleeves and whatnot, and then like just a little bit of edge highlighting in there to clean it up.
Yep.
This is one of my favorite effects. I can't wait to use it on actual Nick Fury, not Samuel L. Jackson Nick Fury.
Yeah.
And actually another one, Colleen Wing. I'm doing her like comics accurate Colleen Wing from the Daughters of the Dragon miniseries. So I've got plans, which is rare. Most of the time I just don't care about plans. Anyway, I think we should wrap this up because I'd love to get to bed before my daughter wakes up, which will happen, I'm sure. You know, probably 2 seconds after I lie down.
Ooh.
Anyway, go ahead.
Sorry. No, did I also show you the...
Yes, that's sick. Oh my god. I
was about to say
love
that
the
there's
shimmery
way too much
robes.
shadow. Let me do... Does that show it better without the second light?
The shimmery robes, man. That's absolutely insane.
Yeah, so I used the Turbo Dork
Yep.
color shift for the robes and
Yep.
everything else. So yeah, like depending on how your light hits it, like it kind of will adjust or change from like blue to purple.
Yeah.
It looks awesome.
Yeah, sort of similar effect to this Martian green that I have here. I've always wanted to use this one.
Uh-huh.
Someone commissioned me to do something like that, so I can use that paint. Actually, no, I have some ideas. Anyway, those will have to come to fruition later on. Thank you for tuning in tonight. Thank you, as always, Mike, for enabling this nonsense. I will, if everything goes right, be back on Monday with Shantae and the Seven Sirens on the season of Metroidvania over on Zach Sucks at Games. And more of that on Friday, again, if everything goes correctly. And are we back next week, or is it a week off?
Should be.
We should be back next week.
Yeah, I was about to say, I ended up working last weekend, so July 11th was supposed to be my weekend to work, but I ended up taking someone's there, so I'm free without weekend work schedules until like the end of August. So
nice. Okay, so we're pretty good. I do have some
other than the 4th of July,
right,
being on Saturday.
Yeah, so yeah, 4th of July, I will probably do an ALG Retro Mods just because I need to. I'm way backed up on modding stuff. So yeah, so I'll take care of that. Anyway, be safe, be well, and we'll talk real soon. Bye.
See ya.